And these brushes are the acrylic set, which is the ones that I did the first video on. And then I have these new brushes, which are liners for detailed work that I will do on the press-on nails. So, if the question is, how are the brushes holding up after 10 months? Let me tell you. After 10 months, I have only used these brushes one time, and I've only used two of the brushes. The reason being is I just have a lot of brushes from different companies. Now, the reason why I purchased these brushes, if you tuned into the first video, is because of their stylish look. Look at that. Isn't that just beautiful? Okay, I wanted some new brushes. I like what I do. It's fun. And I just wanted to be able to do it in style. So I got these brushes in case I want to do a video, show you, or just to give myself pure pleasure while I'm doing something that makes me happy, right? So, after 10 months, the brushes work well. There's no issues in how the brushes work, excuse the camera. But the only issue would be, let's make sure the camera's still here. The issue's not the brush quality. The quality of the brushes is standard for Kolinsky. Kolinsky's is just great standard. Okay, for any kind of painting brush, Kolinsky would be the go-to. So people who know anything about nails would know that. So the quality of Kolinsky is what you expect. But what I did not expect is the tarnish that's on these brushes, right? So if you look at this brush, you can see like it's starting to rust. This is after one use. Could you imagine? You spend this money, and you know, sometimes like if you can't find these brushes on sale, they're even like $40 sometimes. The brushes are not cheap at all. So after one usage, this is what this brush looks like. So here's a brand new one next to one that's not used. You can definitely tell the difference between one that's used and one that's not, right? And like, look right here at this, like, you see this? That right there? Yeah, what is that? My stomach's growling. Okay, so if you look at that, you can see that just plain as day. So I put it under the light so maybe you can see it better. But after one use, the brush shouldn't be in such terrible quality. And when I open up the brushes, which I will show you, the inside of the brush is terrible. You can see, once again, you can definitely tell which one's never been used and which one's been used. You can tell. You can just look and tell. I don't even have to say a word. So after using the brush, if you compare the quality to the Kolinsky itself, the Kolinsky material, you can't tell. Okay, you cannot tell which brush has been used if you look at the quality. But see, the problem is we're buying this brush for style reasons, right? Let me lay these brushes down so you can see. We're using these brushes for quality purposes. And we're buying them because they're styled, right? There's cheaper brushes that you can get. And so when you buy something for reasons of style, you want it to look good. And this does not look good. And so when I use this brush, I do dip it into the dapping dish. My dapping dish that I used was about this tall. And so I dip it in there, right? And so it was not getting wet around the tube. I dipped it in the monomer and, you know, and I dipped it in the powder. And then I started on the set that I was working on at the time. So it had minimum to no liquid going on this brush. After I used the brush, I then put it in some brush cleaner. And when I put it in brush cleaner, I wiped it down. And when I went to wipe down the brush, that's when this started occurring. this right here. And so if you look at this one, I guess what I'm saying is, if you're going to purchase these brushes and you're buying them for the purpose of style, because you can buy Kolinsky with just a wooden simple handle, then I would not choose to purchase these for style, because the style is going to come off after one usage. It can literally be wiped off like with ease. And so that wasn't good. The quality of the brush is good, but see, look at this. That's ridiculous. Look at that right there. What is that? What is that? You know, it's doing anything. It looks like a rusted bullet here. So these right here, I already know what I'm going to be going through. I already know that the pink is going to rub off and they're going to look like a rusted bullet as well. Am I going to keep these brushes? Of course I'm going to keep these brushes after 10 months. So this is an honest review. And honestly, you can't tell the difference between Kolinsky. Both of them look perfect, but unfortunately, the stem doesn't look the same. You can tell the difference with the stem after one use. After I use these brushes 10 times, I can only imagine what it's going to look like. This probably will peel off altogether. You probably won't be able to see any of this. Well, this has been my honest review.